Welcome back to episode 14, part 2 of the Roll the Tape podcast. I'm Jackson White alongside
Aiden McNally.
And Jalen McKissick.
So obviously, this is part 2 of the pod. So episode 14 has 2 parts. So this will be posted following the other episode, probably the day before. But today we're going to be talking about NBA ceilings, what we really think are the ceiling for a few certain teams, who we got winning the three-point contest, the dunk contest, and then who we think will win the All-Star game in the East or West. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode because it is just a part 2 of the episode that came out yesterday, but it should still be fun. So let's get right into it and let's roll the tape.
Yes, sir.
Gotta get some ad-libs. Just, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. But, so I'm going to ask you guys a few teams, and what do you think their ceiling is? We're going to start in the Eastern Conference first, okay? So what do you think the ceiling is for the Chicago Bulls?
Ooh. Lottery.
Okay.
No, wait, hold on. Wait.
Lottery?
No, not the lottery. Playing. 10 seed.
So 9 to 10 seed, where they're at right now. They sit
Yeah, I
currently
think
at the
they
9 seed.
They're at the 9 seed right now.
I think they sit and stay where they're at.
They're winning games recently. They're on fire. I would say, shoot. For me, this is a hot take. I'm high on the Bulls, but I think they'll make the play-in. I think their ceiling, like the very best, is a first round playoff
Exit.
win. No, win.
Win? Whoa. Over who? Because if they win
That's true.
and they make the play-in and they make the playoffs, they're going to have to
know.
verse either the Celtics, Bucks, Cavs.
I mean, they're good. They're good against good teams. I mean, they took the Timberwolves, who is a 1 seed in a bloodbath Western Conference right now. Oh my gosh, the Chicago Bears just released Eddie Jackson. What in the world?
We can never stay on topic.
God, man.
What?
Hey, he is
You know what?
this is a Bears fan we're talking to.
Okay, that was surprising. That's
Go ahead. Go on
actually-
your little minute-long mini rant real quick.
I'll just say a few things. Eddie Jackson has been You know what? No, we'll stay off topic. That was part 1, but this is part 2 NBA. No, the Bulls. I think
You can talk about that next
Bulls,
week.
I think the Bulls. Okay, so Jalen, are you saying that they make the play-in and lose the play-in, or do you
Yeah,
think they
I
make
think-
it to the first round?
No, they lose the play-in because I don't think they're beating either the Heat or Magic.
Okay, I think they make it to the first round but lose the first round.
So
That's
you
my
think they
ceiling
can
for
beat
Bulls.
the Heat or Magic in the playing game? Is that what you're saying?
I
To make the playoffs?
Bulls
I
are
think they
5 and
can.
5 in their last 10, by the way.
Yeah.
I think they can.
They've beaten some pretty good teams in that stretch, though.
Yeah, it'll be. I don't know. It's
It'll be interesting.
It'll be
to
interesting
see.
because they have been. They started out at the year 6 and 14. Now they're almost positive, I think.
26 and 29.
26-29,
So
they're only 3 games behind.
they're flirting with 500 a little bit. I think they can get above 500 if they keep playing the level of basketball they have been recently. Yeah, they're 5 and 5, but that's kind of not. That's not kind of good for the Chicago Bulls.
This season, at least.
This season. So as well as Kobe White. If Kobe White keeps playing the level
yeah, for
he's
sure.
playing, I mean, he's dropped 30 points his last 4 out of his last 6 games. I mean, he's going insane. DeMar DeRozan's starting to play better recently. Vucevic had 32 points, 17 boards the other night.
That was a crazy game for Vooch.
Which was surprising. So we're starting to see Alex Caruso, Ayo Dosunmu. I mean, they have the pieces to really make some noise in the East, but do I think they're going to be a real threat to make a playoff push? Absolutely not. That's where I kind of stand on the Bulls.
Yeah, I think they're making the play-in, but I just don't see them beating the Heat or Magic. I don't think they have the talent to beat the Magic or Heat. Maybe they might have a little bit more depth than the Heat do, maybe. But in terms of top-tier talent on both teams, the Heat blow them out the water. Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy is a real thing. People think about Jimmy Butler in the regular season, and he's okay. He's usually pretty good, averaging 21, maybe 22. Playoffs is averaging almost 30. It happens year after year. And then for the Magic, they just have really great depth. I mean, they've been playing great all year. Paolo's really turning it on into becoming a real superstar of his own. Cole Anthony's been playing well. Jalen Suggs been playing well. So the Bulls, I think they really need to reset. If I were them, I would have reset this trade deadline.
Oh,
I mean, I think we've been talking about them resetting for years now.
Yeah, I don't know why they still haven't. They said they want to be competitive. which was a crazy statement to come from the front office because they don't have a competitive roster.
Yeah, and like they're still like okay, so like they traded for they didn't trade for Lonzo, but they signed Lonzo, they signed DeMar DeRozan, they have like Vucevic there, they have Levine there, and like they're still, I mean, they made the playoffs.
They didn't make the playoffs that year,
but they didn't like beat anyone really good. Like all their wins were really against lower level teams, and so the fact that they're still trying to like hold on to that kind of fire, I guess, from that year, a team that wasn't even as good as it was like on paper.
They were really good when Lonzo Ball was playing.
Oh,
ever
they
since
were.
he's gone out, they haven't been the same team.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd
agree.
say if the whole team was healthy, like Lonzo was healthy, Zach LaVine was healthy, and Kobe was playing the way that he is, then yeah, you can be competitive with that team.
But I agree.
With
LaVine
out for the year, Lonzo probably going to be out for the next year. I mean, there's no competitive fire on this team.
Yeah, I mean, there's experience there.
There's experience
They
there.
have like Vucevic.
I mean, Vucevic was in the playoffs a few years
and
ago.
then DeMar
with the Magic,
DeRozan,
and
him and Kyle Lowry had some battles with LeBron a couple years.
You mean
LeBronto?
they just got beat by LeBron?
Yeah, but they made it
didn't.
to the second round to get beat by LeBron every year. So
Every year.
I think
every
they beat
year.
LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals the year they.
No. That wasn't DeMar though. That was Kawhi.
LeBron was in LA,
LeBron was
That's
in
right.
LA.
That's right.
but they never could beat LeBron.
Yeah, they had to wait for LeBron to leave the East.
That's true.
Yeah, and when they finally did, they made a championship and won it. So
And haven't done anything since.
but Scotty Barnes is on the up.
So, looking ahead to our next team, the ceiling that you guys think the New York Knicks have for the remainder of this year going into the playoffs.
Ceiling for me for the Knicks. NBA Finals appearance.
Oh,
I don't think they'll win it. I think the ceiling for the Knicks are a NBA Finals appearance. They are, after that OG trade, they have been, I think they're like, before OG and Julius Randle got hurt in the year of 2024, they were like 14-2.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also improved their depth with trading for Alec Burks and
Bojan.
yeah. So, I mean, those are two guys that can come off the bench and put up 20 and just be a flamethrower off the bench any given night. If Jalen Brunson's playing the way he is, averaging 30 points per game in the year of 2024, you have Julius Randle, who's an all-star. You have OG Anunoby, which was a great trade for them, moving them from one of the worst defenses to one of the best in the NBA. You have Hartenstein, who stepped up for an injured Mitchell Robinson. You have DiVincenzo. They have the pieces to make. You have a head coach in Tom Thibodeau, who's been in the league for a while.
Never really won anything.
Never won anything, but he's been a serviceable, above-average head coach in the league for years. So I think this team has the pieces to do it, and if they come together and they learn each other and they, get on this streak and carry the wave on from what they were before the OG and Julius Randle injuries, this team is going to be very scary come the summertime.
I mean, I'd like to agree. I mean, I think the Knicks, I wouldn't say NBA Finals. I don't think they'll get there.
Me either.
I definitely could see them going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
That was going to be my pick.
I could definitely see that happening. But the real question about this team is I think they have all the talent in the world. I think they have a championship roster. I think Jalen Brunson has hopped into that elite category.
So you think Jalen Brunson can carry a team to a championship?
And let me talk.
Not carry.
But I think with the right pieces, this team doesn't really have, I mean, obviously Brunson's probably your one, but they don't have like a bona fide guy who's the guy every game. And I would say Brunson's right there, but Randall still has his moments too.
Yeah.
But the real question is with this team, ultimately, can they stay healthy? Because OG Anunoby's a guy who, he's very good, but he does have a little bit of an injury issue.
Yeah.
Same with Julius Randle. Same with Jalen Brunson at times. Even though he hasn't really been injured in New York, he had some issues in Dallas. And their head coach is a guy who likes to play the starters for 45 minutes a game. So I think if they can stay healthy, I think they're definitely going to win a playoff series, and I could see them going to the Eastern Conference Finals. But if they get hurt, they could easily be a first-round elimination if they can't stay healthy.
I guess it really just depends. Me personally, I think they're still in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they can beat 2 through 8 in terms of teams. They can beat the Cavs, the Bucks, the Knicks, Sixers, Pacers, Heat, Magic. I think their problem comes to the best team in the East. That's the Boston Celtics.
I mean, I don't. See
I don't
anyone
think
beating
anybody in the East is beating Boston.
them. No.
So I think if they go up against the Boston, I think even the Bucks give them problems. I know Julius Randle can guard Giannis technically, but he still doesn't stop him. No one stops Giannis.
I don't think anyone in the league
And with Mitchell Robinson being out probably for the year, Isaiah Hartenstein's a good center, but he doesn't really bring the defensive prowess that Mitchell Robinson brings. So especially if you go up against someone like Embiid, Embiid's giving Hartenstein problems. He might give Hartenstein 40. So I think if Mitchell Robinson's out for the year and they go up against someone like the Sixers or even the Bucks or even the Cavs with someone with two bigs,
Yeah.
2 7-footers,
Mm-hmm.
I think that would give them a problem. But I think the Celtics are the one team that I don't think they can get by.
Yeah, I would definitely kind of see that. I could see them struggling with a big center, because obviously, like you said, Hartenstein has been playing well, but can he guard Embiid? No.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
outside of Hartenstein, who's your center?
Taj Gibson.
6'8", Precious Achua or Taj Gibson?
They've been playing Precious Achua at the 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I've
like,
technically,
I've seen
who
the
on
three
this
sometimes.
next team's guarding Giannis?
No, nobody.
I mean, usually when they play, it's Julius Randle, and that's not saying that Julius Randle can stop him, but he is a bigger body.
I'm just saying that's their issue. They
Yeah.
don't have a big who can guard the bigs, the elite bigs of the league.
Especially in the Eastern Conference, it seems like all the stars, all the players to be in the Eastern Conference are bigs.
Yeah,
With Giannis, Embiid, you could argue Tatum's there.
and
Yeah.
even the Cavs, even Evan Mobley can get some buckets every now and
Hey,
again.
Even Jared
Jared Allen's not bad either.
He's not bad
He's
either.
averaging
offensive
like
end.
15 points per game recently.
Hey, don't forget about Miles
been
Turner.
averaging like 7. Hey, buddy. Miles Turner has fallen off a cliff on defense. I'll be the first
Yeah,
to
I
say it.
know.
And going into our next team that has an interesting ceiling, what do you guys think the ceiling is for the Orlando Magic? As they currently sit at the 8th seed with a 30-25 record. They've won 7 of their last 10. They have a really good theme song. They're young.
Orlando
the
Magic.
ceiling for the Magic is
First round exits.
That was quick.
okay.
No hesitation.
I mean, it's valid. They're
no
a young
remorse.
team.
They're a young team. They have little to no. I don't know if anybody on their team. I'll have to look at the roster. Maybe like one of their bench pieces. Has Wendell Carter ever made the playoffs? He made the playoffs with the Bulls
With
that
the
one
Bulls,
time.
Yeah, that
Yep, that
one.
one
But they were
season.
first round exits that year, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
they ain't winning no
Swiped.
playoff series.
Yeah. So I think the being such a young team, going up against someone like, because they're gonna probably be like anywhere from like 6 to 8,
Mm-hmm.
and going up against someone like the Bucks, even the Cavs have playoff experience. Donovan Mitchell's won plenty of playoff series, and then obviously if you versus the best team in the league with the Celtics, I mean, I don't see them beating any of those top 3 teams, and I don't think they're sneaking up to 4 or 5. I think
Yeah.
they'll stay from that 6 to 8 spot.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that.
I think in the Eastern Conference, I think you have to be like a 5 or 6 seed in the East to even compete in a series, just considering how top heavy this conference is. Realistically, the Magic are probably going to finish around that 7, 8, maybe 9 spot, but I don't think they're going to fall past the Bulls. So they're probably going to have to face the Celtics or the Cavs. In that case, I don't think the Cavs or the Celtics drop a series to the Magic. Yes,
I do think that my bad. I do
No,
think
you're
that the
good.
Magic.
I think the
match
Magic
up
can still
well with
1 or
the
2
Cavs.
games against one of these top 3 teams, but I don't see them winning a series.
That's how I feel. Like they'll show flashes. I mean, I think we're forgetting they're still young. I mean, the star of their
Very
team is
young.
21 years old.
they're
in Paulo Banchero.
still a year out, I think.
Yeah, and so I mean, if they're like for the future of the Orlando Magic, all we need to see is we don't need to see a win. We need to see if Paulo is built for this stage yet. If he plays well in the playoffs, if the guys around him can play well, like Franz Wagner, Cole Anthony, players like that, maybe even Markel Fultz a little bit. Jalen Suggs, a young player. If we see flashes from them and see some good things, if they can grab two, maybe 3 wins against a team like the Celtics or the Cavs, I think Orlando has a bright future. But for right now, it's probably got to be first round exits for Orlando.
It's valid. And moving along now to our final team, what is the ceiling of the Indiana Pacers?
Conference finals.
Pacers right now are 31-25, 6th best in the Eastern Conference, and have won 5 of their last 10.
I think it's the conference finals. I think they have positive records against everybody in the top 5 except
They
for Boston.
They have a positive record against everyone in the top 5,
do they have a positive record
including
against
Boston.
Oh, yeah. Well, then that just proves my point further. Obviously, we're not beating Boston in a seven-game series.
They might not be they might be tied with Boston. I know they got blown out by them once, but they did beat them that one game. Tyrese went
If they're
down.
counting the in-season tournament, I think we do have a positive record.
If you're counting that, yes. If not, it's tied. I believe 1-1.
Okay.
But if you're counting in-season tournament, which does, I believe, count against on the record in that game,
Yeah,
yes,
it
it does. So the Pacers are 2-1 with one more game to play versus the Celtics.
But I think the Pacers, at least 2 from seed 2 till 8.
Mhm.
I don't think that there's a team that you can say that really blows them out the water.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously they were positive against the Bucks. They blew out the Bucks almost every game. Not blew out. They beat the Bucks almost every game except for the Giannis 60 ball
4-1.
for the one. The Knicks, we beat the Knicks a couple times. They haven't been the healthiest team when we play them. 76ers, Joel Embiid's always going to give us fits, but outside of him, I think we match up well. And the Heat and Magic, you never really know what the Heat and the Magic
The
are
Pacers
young.
have had the Heat number past few years.
Yeah.
And the Magic, they did beat the Pacers earlier in the season, but it'll be interesting to see what happens when they play again later in the year. I'm going to have to agree. I think the Eastern Conference Finals is their ceiling. I don't see this team going to the finals yet. I think Tyrese is still a year out. I don't think he's to his prime. I don't even think he's close. I think he's 2 years away from his prime. He's still a really young player. And this one thing about this Indiana team, I mean, they have players who can step up and make big plays. Like, obviously, Halliburton's done it all season long, and they go out and get a Siakam, who that's what they needed, another guy to go make a play. We saw that last night versus the Raptors. Siakam scores the game-winning field goal to put the Pacers over the Raptors. And I would have to say the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't like their matchup with Philly. I know that a lot of people think, I mean, Philly's not as good as they were in past years, but Miles Turner does not play well versus Joel Embiid.
Not at all.
And I would be very scared against them. I think they can beat the Knicks. I know they can beat the Bucks, and I think they can beat the Cavs. And I think they can go to 7 versus Boston. I just don't think they can beat Boston in 7 games, and I think they can beat any other team 9 and below. So, yeah, I don't know. They really do struggle against bad teams.
They do.
The Pacers have lost to the Wizards, Pistons, Hornets, Spurs,
Trailblazers.
and the Blazers, the 5 worst teams in the league. So, lost to the Blazers twice. I believe they lost to the Hornets twice. I think they've lost to the Wizards once. God. Did they lose to the Pistons?
Almost. Almost lost.
Hey,
on
they'll
Black
lose
Friday.
all those teams, but they'll go beat Boston and Boston. It's just make it make sense.
What about
But,
you, Aiden?
What's your
think?
final thoughts on the Pacers?
This is tough for me because they're such a streaky team, but realistically, I think their ceiling is probably second round. I think they do snag a first round series, but like you mentioned, the fact that they're like kind of inconsistent, like they'll beat good teams, but then they'll go and lose to the Hornets 2 times in a row to a team who doesn't have LaMelo Ball healthy, and then they go lose to a Knicks team that doesn't have OG and Julius Randle. I know they beat them like 5 days later, but right now, sitting with the standings how it is right now, they have the Bucks first round. I think the Pacers smack the Bucks. I think this is a 6-game series in the Pacers' favor. I think the Pacers probably take a series 4-2 against Milwaukee. After that, though, I don't know because the Cavs are way too dangerous. The Knicks are also a team you probably don't want to play. Like you said, the 76ers are a scary team. Budward Revenge Series.
Budward.
Man.
But for me, I think the Pacers, I think it'd be very cool to see them make the Eastern Conference Finals, but I just don't think they're there yet. I think they're too young and inexperienced to make a scary push in the East.
That's valid.
That's valid.
Moving along now to the Western Conference. Moving along to the Western Conference. Going to do 4 teams in the West. And I want to start with one that I think you guys are going to have fun talking about. The 9 seed, 30-26. They've won 7 of their last 10. The Los Angeles Lakers. What is the ceiling of the Los Angeles Lakers?
The Lakers could be play-in exits or they can be NBA champions. There's no other way around it. Just the way that, the way that they won the in-season tournament after, they're playing well off that streak, but they didn't start the season how anyone thought they'd start. I think they were under 500 before that in-season tournament, like whole tournament started.
They've played better of late.
Yeah, they've played better of late. I mean, this team has LeBron James. I think that's all you really need to say about this team. Pair that along with another superstar in Anthony Davis, with great role players. Rui Hachimura had like 36 last night. They just signed Spencer Dinwiddie. I know Dinwiddie isn't the best point guard in the league in this season, but
he was clanking it.
In Brooklyn, no, he was
no,
awful.
no, even for the Lakers.
Oh, yeah, but
he's been building houses out there in LA.
He'll drop you a couple dimes and grab a couple boards, which is probably what you need from a third string point guard. But they have Austin Reeves, who's also experienced. I mean, there's just something about this team that, they all get. Though the team just gets so much better in general when it comes to a playoff setting.
I mean, we saw them in the in-season tournament.
Yeah.
I mean,
In
no
the
one
in-season
expected them to
tournament,
win.
Last year in the playoffs, too.
Yeah.
Nobody expected the Lakers to make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Like, nobody thought that. Same with, like, the Heat. But for the Lakers, I think their ceiling is probably, with all that being said, probably a Western Conference Finals. I don't know if they're good enough or deep enough to make it to the finals yet, but I'll give them a Western Conference Finals appearance.
I think on paper, this team is a finals team, or it can be a finals team.
Oh, for sure.
On paper, like you said, this team can finish anywhere from missing the playoffs to winning the finals, because the team on paper, LeBron, AD, Rui, Anthony. I almost say Anthony Richardson.
AR, let's go.
AR, wrong AR. But this team on paper has the experience. They have the veteran leadership. And like you said, in the East season tournament, the Pacers didn't stand a chance.
No.
That championship game, AD dropped 30 on Miles Turner's head.
40.
I think he dropped like 40 and
Was it 40?
17 or something like that.
Like if AD can do that consistently, that's what I want from AD. I just want him to be that dominant force that everybody knows that he can be consistently, and he doesn't do it every game.
It just seems like he won a championship and just kind of has gone baby since then.
Yeah.
I mean, you put that trophy, that NCAA tournament trophy in front of him, and all of a sudden he went back to the AD of the Pelicans days.
I mean, LeBron wanted that. He wanted to be the first ever to get the in-season
Oh, yeah.
tournament championships. Then his name's first, and he wants to add every accolade he can to win that GOAT conversation. But I'm gonna have to say, I kind of have to go with you guys as well. I mean, they could be a finals team. They could miss the playoffs. Realistically, how this team is playing right now, I'd say they'd win the play-in. I think they give either the Thunder or the T-Wolves a shot for their money, but I would say they lose in probably 6 to each of those teams.
Yeah.
I don't like the matchup versus, if you're a Thunder fan, I would not want to see the Los Angeles Lakers.
No.
Because
As a Thunder fan, if we see the Lakers in the first round, I don't think we pull it off.
I mean, I like the Thunder, and I think Shea is the MVP favorite right now. I do, but there's a bad man in the Western Conference when he's in the playoffs, and that's LeBron. But moving along now to another team that has kind of an interesting ceiling, and no one really has talked about that much this season. It's the New Orleans Pelicans. They're 6th seed right now in the West. They're 33-22, and they've won 7 of their last 10, and they're on a 3-game winning streak. The New Orleans Pelicans, they're a playoff team right now. And so what's their ceiling in the West?
I think this is another team that went far in the in-season tournament. They actually went to the semifinal in the in-season tournament against the Lakers. They got absolutely blown out, but it was still cool that they made it there. But for me, I think the Pelicans make it to the Western Conference Finals. This is a team that I don't think they make it past the Western Conference Finals. I think they, win their
So you
first
think
two.
their ceiling is the Western Conference Finals?
Yes, I think they win. Their ceiling is winning the first 2 rounds and losing the conference finals. But I mean, Zion Williamson, obviously been playing well. Brandon Ingram has been playing well. Jonas Valanciunas is always gonna pick up 12 points, 11 boards. You have C.J. McCollum, another veteran. Another guy who's experienced in the playoffs, as well as some young pieces on the bench like Herb Jones, Jordan Hawkins, Trey Murphy, But Dyson Daniels, I think, just went out with a season-ending injury, I'm pretty sure. So that could, maybe not season-ending injury, but a long-term injury.
That could definitely hurt him going forward.
So with all that being said, I think they're a young, talented team. I think they're going to, surprise a lot of people. Like you said, I'm surprised a lot of people aren't talking about this team because they're beating a lot of good teams in the Western Conference. But for me, I think the Pelicans, their ceiling is winning the first 2 rounds and losing the conference finals.
I'd say they're probably second round exits. It's just all about matchups. Like right now, if the season ended today, they're versus the Clippers.
Ooh.
I don't think they're getting past the Clippers first round.
No.
They have the size to do it. Obviously, BI is long, lengthy. Zion's huge. Jonas Valanciunas is big. Trey Murphy can guard.
I don't think the
1 through
Pelicans in any
5.
world are beating the Clippers in 7.
No.
I don't think so.
And then Jordan Hawkins has been a really good addition from the draft. But I think that this team is like maybe a little bit too young. Zion doesn't have much playoff experience. BI has a little bit. But
CJ McCollum has the most.
CJ McCollum has the most, and that was probably with Dame, and they went to the conference finals like once. And they
Did
lost.
they even make it to the Western Conference
They
Finals?
made it to West Conference
Yeah,
finals.
they just got smacked by Golden State every time.
Smacked by Golden State.
I think they made
right.
it there twice, actually, with Dame and CJ and OM.
So they have just like one playoff winner, and that's just CJ McCollum. He never won a championship or anything. So I think it's really just depending on matchups. If they verse someone like I don't think they even lose to the Nuggets or the Suns.
Who, the Pelicans?
Yeah,
I don't think they beat anyone above them.
yeah.
I think the Pelicans in a playoff series lose to Phoenix. I think they lose to Denver. I think they lose to the Clippers.
I think they give the Thunder problems.
No, I don't think
size-wise.
so. I think Chet eats them up.
I agree.
You think so?
And then I don't think I think the T-Wolves clean them in 6. The T-Wolves are just an excellent defense.
Oh yeah, I think
defensive
the T-Wolves clear them. I was saying that the Thunder have a size issue sometimes,
Yeah.
and the one thing
Yeah.
the Pelicans do have is size.
That is
There's
true.
Mike Biombo coming to save OKC.
As the savior,
Is he on the Thunder?
yeah, he's on Thunder now
Why'd they pick him up?
because they haven't needed backup.
They didn't trade for anyone, so they just picked up a sizable. He has
Man,
bricks
he
for
is
hands,
just
but
he is just like on every squad these days.
Yeah.
Biombo. What
Well,
team do you play for before? What, the
I think
Grizzlies?
it was Grizzlies.
Grizzlies,
Yeah.
and then before that was the Hornets.
Shoot, I don't even
Biombo
remember
should
him on
have
the
got the lead.
You don't
Hornets.
remember him on the Hornets? He was good on the Hornets.
Maybe I do.
Saying
No, maybe
good
not
is
good. He
funny.
was serviceable. He was serviceable. My bad.
Serviceable, still funny, but he
Oh,
was Bismack
superlative.
Biombo on the Hornets. That's about all
He
I
was the
gotta
center
say.
of all time on the Hornets.
All right, so looking at another team, what is the ceiling of the Phoenix Suns?
Oh.
Who are currently the 5 seed, 33-22, same record as the New Orleans Pelicans. They've won 7 of their last 10. They're on a 2-game winning streak, and they have Kevin Durant.
Oh, it's finals or bust for the Suns. I think
I
if they don't get to
agree.
the finals, this is a L season for them.
Do you think they blow it up if they don't get to the finals?
Probably not. They probably just try and retool and rebuild. I mean, you have KD. I don't know about Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal might be on the trade market if they lose.
Mm-hmm.
But having KD and D Book on the same team, you should be a finals contender every year.
Oh,
You
for
should.
sure.
I mean, obviously the rest, their depth is pretty bad. I think their 6-man's 35-year-old Eric Gordon.
Yeah, that's kind of their issue. Whenever they traded for Beal, they kind of gave away all their depth.
Yeah.
I saw
But,
like Bobo had like 20 minutes the other night.
That's crazy.
Bobo didn't average I don't even know the last time Bobo had 20 minutes.
I can't
Hey, he was
remember the last
balling
time.
last year on the Magic.
He was on the Magic last year. I forgot about that. Maybe he did get 20 minutes last year.
And then, but they also traded for Royce O'Neal, who's actually been playing well so far.
Royce O'Neal is a
for
good
that.
addition for them.
He's
He's
a good
been a
role
good
player.
addition.
Come off the bench.
But I think just the two-headed monster. Obviously, Bradley Beal's there, but Bradley Beal has kind of been relegated to a spot-up shooter. Sometimes maybe he gets like 1 or 2 ISOs here and there.
Hey, the one game versus the Wizards, they gave him the first team, and he had like 46.
Yeah, he got
And then he went back to his getting 15 a game the next
Yep.
one.
I mean, he's a great spot-up shooter though.
He is a good shooter. Obviously, with a guy like Bradley Beal, you want him to kind of have a little bit of creation, and I think they
Yeah.
lack that with him. But I still think he's working to get back to 100%. He's kind of been banged up all season. And when you have guys like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, 2 guys who are probably the best at their positions at creating, it's kind of hard to have another guy who's really good at creating in there
Yeah.
too. There's only one basketball. So I would have to say it's finals or bust. I don't think they make it to the finals this year. I think they're probably second-round exits. Honestly, I don't think they can beat Denver. I don't think they can beat the Clippers. And I don't think they can beat the Wolves. I do think they could beat the Thunder because the Thunder just don't really have that experience.
Mhm.
But that's the only team above them I think they would beat is the Thunder. And I think I could almost see Dallas giving them fits because even though Dallas doesn't have a guy necessarily who can guard Durant, I think Doncic would be the best player in that series. And I think we know what Doncic does to the Suns. He's not a fan of
Yeah.
Devin Booker.
For me, I think it's finals or bust. I think they make the finals.
So you
Win or lose, I
your
don't know.
West pick is the Suns
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
Okay.
You're picking the Suns to go to the finals off the West?
I think so. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Royce O'Neal's been a great addition for them. He's putting up some numbers over there in Phoenix. Kevin Durant is probably, other than LeBron James and, Steph and like Clay, he's probably the most experienced player in the league. He's a guy you want on your team if you want to make a finals run. It's hard to make a finals run.
Besides his Golden State days, he's really not done much.
Well, he's also been on the injured Nets, and his foot was on the line. He did hit the
his
shot.
size 15 foot.
Man,
But-
that was a crazy series back
Yeah.
then.
But I mean, if you want a guy to lead your team, if there's anyone in the league, that you have the first overall pick to have on your team to make a playoff push to make it to the finals, I think I might pick Kevin Durant over everybody, maybe even
Ooh.
over LeBron.
That's rough to say because Kevin Durant has not done nothing without Stephen Curry.
That is true.
LeBron's won championships with 3 different players, 3 different squads.
That's
So-
true. But I think Kevin Durant has a better skill set. I think
I mean, I would say Durant's the most skilled player ever.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But just the fact that they're pairing that with Devin Booker, a guy who's also was the superstar on a team that made it to the finals and lost to Giannis.
Yeah.
You have Bradley Beal, who doesn't have playoff experience, but he's over 30 years old. He's a veteran.
Well, no, let's not forget Bill's early
Yusuf
days.
Nurkic,
Well, with John Wall.
with John
John
Wall,
Wall,
yeah.
they won some playoff
They
series
won
back
some
then.
playoff series.
Like 1 or 2.
Yusuf Nurkic, who was on those Portland teams with Dame and CJ. I mean, this team is,
And they got an experienced coach too, Frank Vogel.
exactly.
Pacers
So-
legend. Shout out.
So they have some depth issues. They're a very top-heavy team, but the players that do make the identity of this team are very good and they're very experienced. So, I mean, I think for me right now, the Suns are probably my pick to go to the finals just because of the experience they have. They have experience that no other team in the league has besides the Nuggets and the Clippers.
That's valid. I just noticed something. I'm just kind of having a little just a funny. So the Rockets right now, and I'm not saying what's their ceiling. I'm just
Okay.
kind of just explaining something I noticed looking at this. The Rockets have a 24-30 record, right?
Mm-hmm.
But their home record is 19-9. They just can't win games on the road. They're
5-21. Dang.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it just be like that sometimes.
Hey,
You
look at
play
the
good at home.
Jazz. They're the same way almost. 17
Yeah.
wins at home, only in 9 on the road.
Those are also pretty good home records. I can't lie. Those are better than some of the teams above them. Like the Warriors are 14-14 at home.
Warriors suck.
That's
Warriors.
That's how,
The Warriors are awful.
Warriors are the definition of mid 26-26.
Oh my gosh! Not even that. They're the definition of mid. They are
Holy-
14-14 at home and 12-12
on the road.
on the road.
Man,
That is crazy.
that is just mid. Hey, the Rockets have more home wins than the Kings, the Mavericks, the Pelicans, the Suns,
Out of how
and
many
they have the
games?
same amount
Yeah.
of home wins as the T-Wolves.
Hey,
They just can't finish on the
something
road.
about playing in Houston, I guess, in front of the baddies, the Houston Baddies.
The Houston Baddies.
Jalen Green has to show out every time he steps on the floor.
Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, does Dylan Brooks really care about the Baddies? I don't know. I
Probably
think
not. He probably just cares about
he
beating
probably looks
LeBron
more at the
James.
middle in the court than he does. Not saying
Hey,
that
yo.
he's like zesty. I'm just saying like because
Zesty?
he's a competitive guy.
Yeah.
Competitive.
Competitive.
All right, now finally, the final team we're going to talk about. What is the ceiling for the 8th-seeded 31-23 Sacramento Kings? They've won 5 of their last 10, and they have a player who's in top 10 in MVP voting who wasn't an all-star. Domantas Sabonis has been dominating lately, but they're still only the 8th seed. What's the ceiling for the Sacramento Kings?
Second round exits.
So-
I think it's it's more.
So right now they sit at the 8 seed. So you think they could beat the T-Wolves or Thunder? Or do you think they'll advance up?
They
and
could
get
advance
out?
As
up.
a Thunder fan, the Kings beat us in a 7.
They could advance. I mean, they're only like 1 game behind. They're really 2 games behind the 5 seed.
I mean,
So
that is true. I do think
it's a matchup thing.
the matchup between the Thunder, I would agree the Kings win. I think Sabonis gives you
Yeah.
all the work.
Yeah.
I like Chet, but Sabonis eats Chet alive.
Oh, yeah. And he has all year, every matchup.
I mean, it's really a matchup thing. I don't think they beat the Timberwolves. Obviously,
No.
they can beat the Thunder.
Yeah.
They probably lose to the Clippers too.
I only teams above them I think they beat are the Thunder, Pelicans, and Mavericks.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't think they beat the Suns. I don't think they beat the Nuggets.
I think they give some of those top teams a run for their money though.
I think they give the Suns the run for the money. I don't think they beat the Clippers or Nuggets or T-Wolves.
No.
Gobert's always had a day versus Sabonis, and T-Wolves are just so damn good. They just have everything you want in a squad. I mean, you have like kind of a young superstar in Anthony Edwards. But that's my tangent about the T-Wolves. But the Kings, I would have to say, it just depends on matchup. But I would say second round is probably their ceiling.
The Kings are pretty bad on defense too. Which is a problem in the playoffs. Obviously, they can score with the best of them. I mean, Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox might be the best pick and roll duo in the league, realistically.
Yeah.
It's up there, yeah.
It's definitely up there. I mean, you have De'Aaron Fox come off a screen. It's either a dunk or it's just a give to Sabonis coming off the roll.
It's a lay.
It's an easy lay. Sabonis is probably one of the best postman in the game, if not the best postman.
Thinking about it, that's
in the
probably
game.
the best pick and roll.
Yeah,
in the
I
league. I would say they're probably above Trae Young and Clint Capella. I think
Trae Young and Clint Capella's up there.
I would say so.
I mean, honestly, Clint Capella might be one of the best roll men in the league.
Yeah.
One of the best pick setters in the league. But off the Atlanta Hawks tangent, I think that the Kings defense gives them problems going into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, they can score with any of the top 8 teams or 7 teams ahead of them. But whenever it comes to defending somebody, first of all, Sabonis, we love Sabonis around here, but that man cannot
even
defend.
OKC fans love Sabonis.
That man cannot defend a star center.
No.
Jokic is giving him the work. Gobert, Cat's giving him the work. Even Zubac might give him the work from time to time. Even Nurkic could give him the work from time to time.
Yeah, that's the bad thing about Sabonis. That's why I would assume he didn't get an All-Star nod. He's not that good.
He's not that good on defense. On offense, he's probably one of the top 3 best centers in the NBA in terms of offense.
When it comes to like all-around game, when it comes scoring, passing, and he's kind of gotten a little better at shooting this year too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he's a triple-double machine.
Triple-double
he
machine.
He's up there
is.
with Jokic.
He's leading the league in triple doubles this season.
So unless
Yep.
the Kings can get their defense together, I just don't see them beating any of the top teams. But I think they can get a series. Maybe if they just outscore their opponents every time and just get timely stops.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I see them winning. So I'm going to say second round. Second round.
There's no need for my explanation to be super long. It's pretty clear. I think their second round exits. First round, I think they'd have to play the Thunder to make it past the first round, considering they're like 9-1 versus the Thunder the last like 3 years, which is crazy. But other than that, I think if the Kings play the Thunder first round, I think that's a ticket to the second round, but I don't see them making it any further than that.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deduction.
It's pretty valid. So we're going to move along now to All-Star Weekend. That is this weekend in Indianapolis. And obviously it's going to be, I think it's going to be pretty interesting. So we're going to talk about who do we have in the dunk contest. We're going to talk about that first. And in the dunk contest, you have Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics. Why is this only telling me 2 names?
Here, you need the list. I got you.
Yeah, I need the list. So we have Jaylen Brown, obviously, from the Boston Celtics. Then we have Mac McClung, who's on the Magic G League team. Then we have Jacob Toppin, brother of Obi Toppin, who's on the G League team of the Knicks. Then we have Jaime
Jaquez.
Yep, and he's on the Miami Heat. Good rookie there. And obviously Jaylen Brown, kind of a big name, and obviously Mac McClung, obviously kind of a known dunker past like 10 years. But Jacob Toppin over Obi Toppin, even when it's an Indy.
That is surprising. Maybe Obi Toppin's brother just like begged them to let him just let him try.
I mean,
Please let
look,
me have a
let me have
chance.
it.
looking right now, I think Mac McClung repeats.
I agree.
I'm gonna
you
take
have to
him.
pick Mac McClung. Jaylen Brown's not going to do anything crazy because he probably doesn't want to injure himself since he's a star. Mac McClung, he's a G League player. What does he have to lose? Plus, he's been known for dunking his whole career. We've seen it in high school, college and in the NBA and G League, it's going to be Mac McClung, in my opinion.
I'm going differently. You know what? I'm going with the guy that you might not expect to win this one. I'm going Jaime Jaquez. I've seen clips of him in a high school dunk contest, and I'm guessing that his hops have only gotten better as the years have gone on. I think he pulls out something that we haven't seen before.
Really?
I don't know what. I couldn't tell you. I haven't seen his training highlight videos.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb here and say that he pulls out something that we haven't seen before. Straight 10s all across the board, 50, winning it all.
Man, that would be something. That's
A rookie
bold.
winning the dunk contest.
I'm gonna take Mac McClung. I think that's
yeah.
just I think he's the favorite, and I
He's
think he
probably
has
the
nothing to
favorite.
lose. I'm gonna have to agree with Dave.
I'm gonna have to. Can I bet on Jaime Jaquez? Is that like on FanDuel or something? Is that on the Underdog?
Underdog Fantasy.
It might be. Yeah, sponsor us.
Sponsors.
But now we're gonna move along to the 3-point contest here, and there's some interesting names. So we're gonna start with the defending reigning champion, who is Damian Lillard, who is now on the Milwaukee Bucks, followed by Tyrese Halliburton, who I think broke the record last year,
Yeah.
but ended up losing.
Lost in the second round.
Jalen Brunson from the Knicks, Malik Beasley from the Bucks, Larry Marketing from the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell from the Cavs, Karl Anthony Towns from the Timberwolves, and then Trae Young from the Hawks. I'll let you guys begin.
First of all, Damian Lillard is absolutely not repeating because this dude is shooting a career low in Milwaukee, 34.2%. That's rough for Damian Lillard, especially since he can't really do anything else other than shoot threes offensively, other than make a few passes, and he has a good touch around the rim. For me, I'll go with Jalen Brunson. I really like Jalen Brunson. He's showed a lot this year. You can see just by this year alone, he's improved his 3-point shooting a lot. He's kind of been known for that mid-range guy all year, or all his whole career, even at Villanova. But you've seen him improve at 3-point shooting. I'll take Jalen Brunson for 3-point contest.
I know who y'all think I'm going to pick, and I want to pick him. I think he might win, but I'm going to go with somebody that I think is being underrated in this one. I'm
Okay.
taking Lowry Marketing.
All right.
The last time I think a forward has won the 3-point contest was Larry Bird.
I think Towns won it a few years ago.
Did Towns win it?
Yeah,
I think Towns did win
a
it.
few years ago, yeah.
Okay, well, before Towns, it was Larry Bird,
Mhm.
I think. And you know who Larry Marketing looks like a little bit? Larry Bird. That's the only reason. He has the long, flowy, kind of curly,
Mm-hmm.
blonde hair. He has a little bit of the same stroke. Pause.
Shoot, whenever I
Hey,
saw
yo.
him at Arizona, I thought he was Larry Bird.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and Larry Marketing was shooting amazing this year from 3. I think he comes in, a little chip on the shoulder because nobody thinks he's going to win it. He comes in, dominates. Larry Marketing.
I'm not going to lie, Larry Markkinen might be my last pick to win. Just because forwards historically,
Hey, Cat's back in
know.
it this year. Cat might
I do like
Cat
Cat
might
a
make a
lot,
run.
especially after that one 62
self-proclaimed best big man shooter of all time.
That
That's
was
what he
kind of
said.
crazy. He's up there. I think he's top 5,
he
but
might
I
be
don't,
top
I don't
one.
think
He might be top 1.
I'm taking Dirk over Cat. Come on.
3-point shoot, not in terms of mid-range, yeah, but 3-point shooting, I think it might be Cat.
Like straight 3-point shooting? Yeah, probably Towns.
In terms of mid-range touch, nobody's beating Dirk, big man wise.
Yeah, Towns has always had a phenomenal 3-point shooting. Also, another guy who could have been in this contest, Miles Turner, a guy who likes to
Man.
3 hunt. Where's Miles Turner? He's not in the paint. Oh, he's at the 3-point
He's at the 3-point line. He's in the corner.
He's out there. He's waiting for it. But in this All-Star 3-point contest, I'm going to take the pick that I think that you almost took,
Yeah.
and it's the hometown squad. I have to.
Okay, that's fair.
The 3-point competition. He's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, statistically and actually. I'm gonna take Tyrese Halliburton to win this 3-point competition. He was robbed last year. The judges just did give it to him, but I think Halliburton is the best 3-point shooter in this bunch when it comes down to it. I think he's made the most clutch shots out of this bunch, and I just think that it's in Indy.
This is an indie.
And he's
You
plays
have
for
to
the
win
Pacers.
something.
We got to
They
win something.
They got to win something. Miles
So I'm gonna take
Turner,
Halliburton.
Bennedict Mathurin, and Tyrese in the skills challenge. So maybe they won the skills challenge.
Yeah, who's all in that skills challenge?
I know that the Giannis brothers are in it. I think
Again?
I think so. I'll have to look it up.
Nah,
Looking it up right now.
Loki,
I'm
I think
looking it up right
Thanasis-
now.
Thanasis is robbed of an All-Star.
That's
appearance.
funny. Bro's so bad.
Nas is robbed of a That's crazy.
All right, I got the squads. So we have Team Pacers. Obviously, every home last few years, the team that's hosting gets have 3 players. The Pacers have Benedict Mathurin, Tyrese Halliburton, and Miles Turner.
Mathurin's going to sell that.
Probably. And then we have the top picks. And then we have, obviously, Pablo Banchero, Anthony Edwards, and Victor Wembanyama. And then we have Team All-Stars, which is Scotty Barnes, Tyrese Maxey, and Trae Young. And, well, looking at these 3 squads, obviously, the skills challenge, I mean, it can go anyway. You know, it's not really on skills. I mean, the skills challenge has a lot of luck that's involved in it, too.
I mean, I find it crazy how they put Scotty Barnes and Tyrese Maxey on the same team again after the Tyrese Maxey looked a little uncomfortable with those hugs.
Yeah,
hugs last year.
That is kind of crazy.
Come give me a hug.
But
I'm gonna hug you.
Ayo. But in this, I'm gonna take Team Top Picks. I think Team Top Picks is gonna win the skills challenge. Personally,
I like the All-Star team with Scotty,
Tyrese,
and
Maxey.
Trae Young.
Trae Young.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most
Well, you already,
literally skilled group in the competition.
well, you already know who I'm picking.
The Pacers.
Do I think
group.
that Benedict Mathurin is going to sell this some way, somehow? Is he going to miss one of the passes? Is he going to dribble off his foot? Probably. But I'm still going to go with my hometown team. I'm picking the Team Pacers.
Hey, so there it is.
Got
I
to
think
come back
that's-
to. We all 3 had different choices.
Yeah,
Team
well,
Pacers is going to win if Mathurin doesn't sell.
let's hope he doesn't sell.
He might.
He
But-
trips. pulls a Sam
Sam
Decker
dribbles the ball off his face out of
Man,
bounds.
that'd be insane.
in your home.
But finally, the final
National
one
television.
of this episode here. Who do we got winning the All-Star game, East or West? And who's your pick for MVP of the All-Star game?
You know what? I'll keep it simple. There's one conference that is significantly more star-studded than the other. I'll go with the Western Conference. I think it's actually night and day between these 2 teams. I'm not saying the East is terrible. I mean, it's an All-Star game. Everyone's, great and all, but this is a team that has Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Luka, Steph off the bench too, which is insane. Shea, who's their center? Jokic. I mean,
Jokic.
like that is that might be a
Did you say
all
LeBron?
NBA starting
You said
5. That might be an all NBA starting 5 team if you know.
It's valid. It's
But
valid.
I'll take the West here for my MVP. I think it's got to be. It's got to be LeBron. Not because I think he's going to be the best player in this game. I think you have to
LeBron.
give it to LeBron. If it's not LeBron, it'll be Jokic.
Yeah, just give it to LeBron every year. You know how many times he's been an All-Star? What, 20?
Yeah.
But go ahead, Jalen.
I'm picking the East.
Okay.
I think that the East have something about them. They have a little clutch factor.
They
in
have
them.
the grit.
They have the grit. They have the heart. You know, they just play the game the right way. So I really think that the East, it will be a close game, first of all. I think this might be the best All-Star game in years.
Oh yeah,
I think that this one's going to come down to a couple clutch buckets. And you know who I think makes those clutch buckets?
Who?
Tyrese Halliburton.
I wasn't going to say Tyrese
Okay,
Halliburton.
good.
I was thinking about it. I think Paolo Banchero.
I like that.
I think Paolo
Oh.
Banchero is going to have. I don't know why. It's just a gut feeling. I think Paolo, second year in the league, first All-Star game, he's going to want to show out. And I think since Embiid's injured, I don't know who's going to replace him in the starting lineup.
Are they still doing the combined score format?
No.
They're not.
No, they're not.
It's
Okay.
back to regular.
So-
It's back to regular.
My question for you guys of 2 Eastern Conference fans, what are you doing if Tyrese Halliburton has this crazy game, 30 points, 12 assists, and they sub him out, 129, 130 Western Conference.
Well,
They sub Tyrese Halliburton out for a guy over there in Toronto, Scotty Barnes.
I swear.
Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. They won't sub him out with a minute left or something
No,
like
they
that.
won't.
It's in Indiana. If it was in Toronto, maybe.
That was a joke. That's,
Oh, of
that's
course.
not happening.
Imagine.
That's
I
not
would.
even-
I would think I'd blow up. if
I think
that
Scotty
happened.
Barnes might not even get like 20 minutes in this.
No,
game.
Scotty Barnes is going to be one of those bench riders that comes in like every last 2 minutes of every quarter.
He's basically going to be what every Pacers All-Star has been the
He's
past
just there
few
to have
years.
fun.
Yeah.
But finally, for me, I'm going to pick the East as well. Obviously, I'm an East enjoyer with my favorite team being in the East. But I don't know. There's just something about it, and it's in an Eastern Conference arena. And I think the MVP is going to be the player that's from the state that the game has been played, I think Tyrese Halliburton gets MVP. I
This
do.
is the Pacers podcast.
Nah, this is
Well, no,
insane.
well, no, listen,
I'm about to walk
listen.
out.
Well, okay, buddy. Listen.
I'm joking.
Listen. Okay, Halliburton's probably going to get 15 assists.
Probably.
He already gets 12 with the Pacers.
That's
So we give him a bunch of all-stars, and he's starting, meaning he's going to get a lot of minutes.
and terrible defense being played.
Also,
I mean,
Tyrese
he-
should take the ball up every time. I swear, if Dame takes the ball, tries to take the ball up, put Dame in the corner.
Get Dame off the
Get Dame off the
squad
court.
like this. But no, honestly, usually the hometown players do kind of get a more of a green light than others.
That is true.
And it's in Indiana. Indiana hasn't really had much going for them of late. Things are looking up, but they ain't up yet. So I think there's a good chance Halliburton wins MVP. Obviously, if the East is going to win, I would assume it's probably going to be Giannis win MVP
Yeah,
or Tatum. But
I was thinking Tatum.
I would say I'm just going to say Halliburton because it's home team. If it was in Boston, I'd pick Tatum. If it was in Milwaukee, I'd pick Giannis. It's just usually that home player, if they're
That is
starting,
very true.
has a good chance, like we saw with AD winning MVP a long time ago whenever it was played in New Orleans and stuff like that. So usually you see it, and I could definitely see Halliburton throwing out 20 assists or something crazy.
I don't know.
and if
Something
he
about
does
that man
that-
Paulo.
Hey, I like Boncaro, I do, but I don't think he wins an All-Star MVP in Indiana.
Something about that man Paulo.
But
have they announced who's going to be starting in place? Is it going to be Bam?
I don't know. They haven't announced
They
it
haven't
yet.
announced who's starting over Joel.
Yeah, it's a game time decision, you know.
Game time decision. Who's the coach of the East?
It's
Oh, Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla.
no, he was
No,
coach
it's-
last
it's,
year.
it's
The Bucks coach.
The Bucks coach. It's Doc Rivers.
Oh, it's Doc. I forgot it was Doc.
because
At the
Missoula,
time.
they can't have Missoula coach 3 years in a row.
But even though right now it'd be the Cavs coach,
It was,
it was
Bickerstaff, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
JD
already
Bickerstaff.
it was already selected to be.
I wish Bickerstaff was the coach.
yeah, I wish Bickerstaff would have been the coach. I don't
Doc
care.
Rivers.
Doc Rivers can't.
I don't care
Oh, never
about
mind. The
Doc.
East is losing now. Doc Rivers is the head coach. Yeah. The East is
What does the
losing.
coach even do? They don't do anything.
They
They're
just
not going
sub
to
in.
draw up plays.
I don't know if they sub in. I guess the players go up there and ask him, like, yeah, can I go in now? He's like, yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm kind of getting bored over here. Can I get in?
Yeah, go ahead.
But that's gonna wrap it up. Obviously, 2 parts, and you almost get about 2 hours roll the tape this week.
Yeah,
so
2 hours of content? What?
2 hours of content, you know. But obviously, make sure to follow us on all socials, Roll the Tape Sports. Obviously, new TikToks coming out almost every day. Also, Instagram Reels, same video, post on both those. Make sure to leave a like and follow on whatever you're watching or listening to this on. Follow us on the socials. Obviously, next Thursday, we'll have a full episode coming your way talking about the NBA. And we'll figure out something else, obviously, with NFL not happening no more.
MLB talk.
Funny, but it's gonna be a good one. So obviously, thanks for joining us. It's been fun. Until next time.
Yes, sir.
See you.